Do you ever feel like your relationship is stuck in a loop, like you're having the same argument over and over and you just can't seem to break the cycle? You love your partner, but you feel trapped, and you're starting to wonder if this is as good as it gets. That feeling of being stuck is deeply unsettling. It's an emotional quicksand that can leave you feeling overwhelmed and completely lost. Every decision feels like it's clouded by the fear of starting another fight. But what if I told you that the cage you feel isn't your partner or even the relationship itself? What if it's a single hidden belief that's keeping you stuck? In this video, we're going to drag that belief out into the light. We're going to expose the invisible blueprint for your frustration, and I'm going to give you the exact mindset shift you need to finally break free and start building a relationship that grows instead of grinds to a halt. That repetitive loop you're in, whether it's about chores, money, or who isn't listening to whom, it feels real, doesn't it? It feels like a wall you keep walking into. You can predict the words before they're even said. You can feel that familiar wave of frustration or resignation building inside you, and you walk away from it every single time feeling a little more hopeless than before. The root of this feeling, this sense of being trapped, is a belief system that pioneering psychologist Carol Dweck calls a fixed mindset. A fixed mindset is the belief that our qualities, our personalities, and our abilities are carved in stone. They're static. They don't change. When you apply this to your relationship, it sounds a lot like this. This is just who my partner is. They'll never be tidier. We're just not compatible. We're too different. Relationships shouldn't be this much work. If it's not good now, it never will be. We'll never be as close as I want us to be. When you're operating from a fixed mindset, every argument isn't just an argument. It's a verdict. It's a final judgment on your partner's character and your relationship's potential. A disagreement about money isn't just a problem to solve. It's proof that your partner is irresponsible. A miscommunication isn't a slip-up. It's evidence that they don't care enough to listen. These beliefs are so powerful because they make you see challenges as permanent roadblocks. Think of your relationship like a statue. A fixed mindset tells you the statue is already finished. When you find a flaw, a crack, a chip, you believe it's a permanent part of the sculpture. You can either resent the flaw, try to hide it, or decide the whole statue is ruined. What you don't believe you can do is change it. This is the cage. It's built from words like always and never. You always do this. You never listen. These words lock you and your partner into rigid roles, leaving zero room for growth. This mindset is so sneaky because it creates a self-fulfilling prophecy. When you believe your partner can't change, you stop giving them a reason to. Why would you try a new communication technique if you're convinced they'll never listen anyway? Why express a need if you believe they're incapable of meeting it? The fixed mindset kills your motivation. It leads to blame. Because if the problem is a permanent trait in them, then obviously they're at fault. And it leads to hopelessness because you feel totally powerless. You feel stuck because your own beliefs have convinced you that you are. But here's the crucial truth. This belief, this cage, it's not reality. It's a perspective. And perspectives can be changed. If the fixed mindset is the cage, then the key is its polar opposite, the growth mindset. A growth mindset is the game-changing belief that abilities, intelligence, and even personality can be developed through dedication and effort. It's the understanding that who you are and who your partner is isn't a finished product, but a work in progress. In a relationship, a growth mindset means believing that both of you can grow and change. It means seeing challenges not as verdicts on your compatibility, but as opportunities to learn and deepen your connection. It's a fundamental shift from judgment to curiosity. Let's go back to that statue. A growth mindset doesn't see a finished statue. It sees a block of clay. When you find an imperfection, you don't see a permanent flaw. You see an area that can be shaped and smoothed with a little attention and effort. You and your partner are the sculptors, working together on this shared creation. It's not about perfection, it's about the collaborative process of shaping something beautiful together. And this isn't just wishful thinking, this is biology. The foundation of the growth mindset is neuroplasticity. For a long time, we thought the adult brain was pretty much set in stone. Turns out that's wrong. We now know our brains are constantly changing and adapting based on our experiences and thoughts. Every time you choose a new way of thinking, you are literally forging new neural pathways. You are physically rewiring your brain. Adopting a growth mindset changes the entire emotional weather of your relationship. Suddenly, a recurring argument isn't a dead end anymore. It's a data point. It's a signpost pointing directly to an area that needs a new strategy. A moment of disconnection isn't a sign that love is fading. It's a signal to invest in a new way of connecting. The question shifts from why are we so broken and to what can we learn from this? Someone with a fixed mindset says, my partner should just know what makes me feel loved. Someone with a growth mindset says, I believe my partner can learn how to love me better if I communicate clearly and we both make an effort. The first statement is a dead end. The second is a doorway. This is the mindset shift that unlocks the cage. It doesn't magically solve all your problems overnight, but it changes the one thing you have 100% control over, your approach. It moves you from a passive position of judgment to an active position of growth, and from that empowered place, everything can start to change. Now, let's break this down into 3 practical shifts you can start making today. The most common trap of a fixed mindset in any conflict is the blame game. It's that knee-jerk reflex to point the finger. You made me feel this way. This is your fault. If you would just change, we wouldn't have this problem. When you believe the issue is a permanent flaw in your partner, blame is the only logical conclusion. But it's also a trap of helplessness. By giving your partner all the responsibility for the problem, you also give them all the power to fix it. And so you wait, stuck, for them to change. The first, most powerful shift is to move from blame to personal accountability. Now let's be clear. This does not mean you take the blame for everything or become a doormat. It's about reclaiming your power by focusing on the only part of the dynamic you can truly control, you. This means turning the pointing finger back toward yourself and asking a different set of questions. Instead of, why are they doing this again? You ask, what's my role in this repeating cycle? Instead of focusing on their reaction, you ask, how can I change my action? Let's take a classic. Chores. The fixed mindset script is, I'm furious because my partner is lazy and never helps. I have to nag them constantly, and I'm starting to resent them for it. The focus is entirely on your partner's perceived, unchangeable trait, laziness. The growth mindset shift sounds different. It asks, is nagging the most effective strategy here? I mean, it hasn't worked so far. What's another way I could approach this? Have I actually told them calmly how their inaction makes me feel, using I statements? Or do I just jump straight to frustration? What's the real story here? Is this about the chores, or do I feel unappreciated? How can I talk about that feeling more directly? See the difference? The first approach is stuck. The second is full of possibilities. You have a dozen different things you can do right now without your partner doing anything first. You could schedule a time to talk when you're both calm. You could suggest a new system. You could be vulnerable about feeling unseen instead of just being angry. This shift moves you from being a victim of the dynamic to an active participant with agency. You start to see that the argument loop is a dance, and it always takes 2. Even if your partner is leading 90% of the steps, if you change your 10%, the entire dance has to change. It can't continue in the same old way. By taking radical responsibility for your part, you break the cycle. All right, shift number 2. This one is sneaky. It's moving from a position of knowing to a position of learning. After you've been with someone for a while, it's so easy to believe you have them all figured out. You think, I know exactly what they're going to say. And then I know why they're doing that. They're just trying to get a rise out of me. There's no point in talking about this. I know how it will end. This assumption of knowing is a communication killer. It shuts down all curiosity. Why would you listen if you already know what they're going to say? Why ask a genuine question if you already know their motive? It's a subtle form of disrespect that freezes your partner in time, turning them into a predictable caricature, and it guarantees you'll stay stuck because you've closed yourself off from any new information that could change things. The growth mindset shift is to become a student of your partner, not their biographer. It's remembering that the person you're with today isn't the exact same person you met a year ago. Life changes people. Stress changes people. Joy changes people. Cultivating this learner's mindset starts with getting curious again. When they get quiet and distant, instead of thinking, here we go again, try a gentle, open-ended question. You seem a world away right now. What's on your mind? Practice active listening. That means you listen to understand, not just to reload for your rebuttal. A powerful technique for this is called looping. You listen, then you reflect back what you heard in your own words and ask if you got it right. For example, so what I'm hearing is that when I bring up money, it feels less like we're a team and more like I'm attacking you. Is that right? When people feel truly heard, their defensiveness just melts away, and the real conversation can finally begin. One of the most powerful connecting phrases you can ever use is simply, "Tell me more." It's an open door. It validates their experience and signals that you genuinely want to learn. It replaces the fixed mindsets, "I know," with the growth mindsets, "I want to understand." This is about bringing back the curiosity you had on your first few dates. Remember that? You didn't assume anything. You asked questions. You were fascinated. That complex, evolving person is still there. By choosing to be a learner, you give them and your relationship the space to grow. And that brings us to our third and final shift, reframing problems from defect to development. In a fixed mindset, recurring issues are seen as defects. If you struggle with jealousy, the conclusion is, our relationship is fatally flawed, or my partner is just a jealous person. Problems are treated like cracks in the foundation, a sign of imminent collapse. This perspective is heavy with judgment and shame. It makes you want to hide your flaws and point out your partners. The third growth mindset shift is to reframe these issues as your shared curriculum for growth. These are not defects, they are assignments. The recurring argument isn't a sign that your relationship is broken. It's a sign that your relationship is asking you both to level up. Think of your relationship as a gym. The conflicts are the weights. Lifting them is hard. It causes strain. A fixed mindset sees the strain and says, "This is too hard. I'm not strong enough." A growth mindset sees the strain and says, "Okay, this is the resistance we need to get stronger. Let's learn the right form and lift this together." Each challenge you navigate together is what builds your emotional muscle. This changes the entire story from "we are broken" to "we are a work in progress." So how do you do this? First, start naming the challenge as a shared goal. Instead of "your jealousy is ruining this," it becomes "it seems like building trust is a huge growth area for us. How can we work on this as a team?" The shift from your problem to our project is everything. Second, celebrate the effort, not just the results. Maybe you tried to talk about a sensitive topic differently and it still got a little awkward. Instead of calling it a failure, you say, "That was still tough, but I'm really proud of us for trying a new way." That's progress. Celebrating small wins fuels your motivation. Finally, have more growth-oriented conversations. Ask questions like, "What's one area you feel like you've grown in recently?" Or, "How can I support your personal growth right now?" This creates an environment where it's safe to be imperfect and committed to evolving together. When you see problems as developmental opportunities, they stop being reasons to give up. They become the very tools you use to build a stronger, more resilient partnership. For weeks, months, maybe even years, you've felt stuck in that exhausting loop. The frustration is real and it is valid, but the cage isn't what you think it is. The bars aren't your partner. They've been forged from the fixed mindset, the one that whispers that things will never ever change. But today we found the key. It's the simple, powerful realization that you and your partner can grow. We talked about 3 shifts to turn that key. First, moving from blame to personal accountability so you can take your power back. Second, shifting from knowing to learning to reopen the door to curiosity and real understanding. And third, reframing problems from defects to development. So every challenge becomes a chance to grow stronger together. These aren't quick fixes, they're practices. They take effort and a whole lot of self-compassion. But this is where your freedom is. If this video sparked some hope in you, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content on building better relationships. And now, a question for you. I'd love to read your answer in the comments. Which of these 3 shifts, from blame to accountability, from knowing to learning, or from defect to development, feels like the one you need to focus on right now? Sharing it is a powerful first step. Remember, the loop doesn't have to last forever. You can start reshaping things today, and it starts with you.